Hi all, good morning and good evening as well. So in the yesterday class, we discussed about networking commands, and those commands we can use regularly in our day-to-day life for the troubleshooting and also instant investigation and forensic analysis purpose, even for implementation purpose also. So next topic is network architecture diagram, and whatever architecture diagram we are going to discuss now, this one is applicable to on-premise also, and also this one is applicable to cloud also. So in the cloud here and there little bit, okay, differences it will be there. Those differences I'll explain later. So once again, we are moving to the cloud security. There I will draw the new diagram related to cloud security. But it is applicable to cloud also, how the traffic it will go and what are the different types of devices we can go and we can configure. First of all, we'll discuss about what is meant by network architecture diagram. So it is a logical diagram or is a pictorial representation of the diagram, or it's like a blueprint of the diagram. So according to this diagram only, we will come to know we have to deploy where we have to deploy what type of devices. So that logical flow of the diagram, we can call it as network architecture diagram. Okay. So it is a blueprint or logical or a pictorial representation of where to deploy what type of devices in the organization. That may be on premise, or when you say on premise, it's like a data center or cloud environment. So that is called network architecture diagram. Now, before class has been started and I was drawing that one here and there, I have done the little bit modification also. This one I already told you several times in the class. I have shown you previously also this one. Let's go and discuss about in-depth analysis of this diagram now. So now first one is server LAN. So there are three different types of zones will be there for any network architecture diagram. Those three zones are, you can see here, trust or internal zone. Okay. Second one, DMZ or DMZ zone. Third one is public or external or untrust. Public or internet or external or untrust. So here only we are getting the internet. From here only we'll get the internet. So that's we can call it as the internet or public or external or untrust. So these are the three different types of zones. I'm repeating once again. So every network architecture diagram, it contains three different types of zones. Those zones are, one is trust zone. Second one is internal zone. So trust zone is also called as internal zone. And second zone we can call DMZ or DMZ zone. So third one we can call it as the internet or public or external or untouched zone. And you can see on the left hand side, complete extreme left, you can see server LAN. So in the trust zone only we have to deploy our critical server. Critical server can be deployed in our, okay, so trust zone, not in the DMZ zone. In the DMZ zone, we can deploy non-critical servers. In case that is not that much critical and that much data is not existing, and data also it's like a non-critical, those servers we can deploy under the, okay, not DMZ or DMZ zone side. But if the servers are very critical to the organization side, those servers we have to deploy in the trust zone or internal zone. So couple of very critical servers are Active Directory. It's very important, you know already, and domain controller. So it will do the authentication and authorization part. Then it will do SMTP server. It will for sending the emails and receiving the emails, and DNS for the domain name resolution, and DHCP server. It is mainly for the assigning the IP address automatically. Web server, or this is also called app server. So web server is also called app server. There we can go and we can deploy our internal applications or organization related applications. Next one is database server. So in the similar way, file server also we do have, and a couple of tools. What are tools we are using, like SAM tool, EDR tool, DLP tool, all those will fall under the server LAN. Okay. So here server local area network. So I given the IP address range is 10.10.0.0/16. Okay. So that means here 2 power 16, that is equivalent to 65,535 IP addresses we can allocate for those servers. So these servers are critical to the organization, and these servers we have to deploy in the trust zone or internal zone. Okay. Now coming back, all these servers, whatever I forgot, even Microsoft and Unix also, even we can give Microsoft Unix also, those servers also. For servers, we will do the, okay, so one of the security related control, those controls we can call it as vulnerability management or vulnerability assessment. Otherwise, we can say that for server side, we'll do the scanning mechanism. So scanning the servers and identifying the vulnerabilities, we can call it as vulnerability assessment. And managing of those vulnerabilities and fixing of those vulnerabilities, total end-to-end life cycle of the vulnerability process, we can call it as vulnerability management process. So that will fall under the infrastructure security. Okay. So that is about server LAN. I'm repeating once again, server LAN. Every organization, it will maintain the critical servers. Those critical servers we have to deploy in the trust zone or internal zone. So a couple of example servers are Active Directory. It's very critical to the organization. Domain controller, SMTP server, DNS server, DHCP server, web server or app server, database server, file server, Microsoft servers, Unix servers, Red Hat Enterprise Linux, CentOS, and so on. In the similar, even security related solutions also will consider as a servers only, like SAM tool or EDR, DLP. Those things also we can deploy under the server LAN. So these are all very important to the organization side. Okay. So now for all these servers, monthly once we'll do the scanning and we'll identify the vulnerabilities. Those vulnerabilities we can call it as vulnerability assessment. After identifying the vulnerabilities, what we have to do? We have to do the fixing of the vulnerabilities. So if you want to fix that vulnerabilities, we have to contact with the asset owner, server owner. So after that, we have to go and we have to raise the tickets in the ticketing tool, and we'll assign those vulnerabilities to the or tickets to the respective asset one server owner. Then they will fix those vulnerabilities. That entire process we can call it as vulnerability management. So this one will fall under the infrastructure security. In case even our organization contains the cloud environment, we have to do the cloud scanning also. Cloud virtual machines, cloud virtual private circuits, cloud EC2 instances. Those things also we have to do the scanning of regularly, like monthly. Most of the organization they will do the monthly scanning. So daily scanning we should not do. And one more thing here, production environment we should not do the scanning part. Only development environment and testing environment. Why? Because in case we are doing the scanning of the production environment, maybe so those servers will go down. That is the reason we have to do the scanning of the servers on the development environment or testing environment. That is about overall server LAN. So we will assign the LAN IP address, private IP address range. You know about what is mean a private IP address range. Already we discussed about under the classes of the IP address, public, private, class A, class B, class D, and class C related IP address range. So here, whatever IP address we are purchasing from IANA, Internet Authority Assigned Number. So those IP address range, you have to do the segmentation part. So now I am doing the segmentation part for the server LAN. So what is the IP address range I given here? 10.10.0.0/16. So /16 here 2 power 16. So that means we can give 60, if I are multiplying 2 power 16, meaning here 2 into 2 into 12, 16 times, then how much it will come overall? It will come as a 65,535 or 536. So those many IP addresses we can assign to these servers. So that is about overall server LAN. Okay, let's go back to our diagram now. I mean our sheet, sorry. Network architecture diagram. contains three zones. What all those three zones are? First one is internal or trust zone. Okay. Second zone is DMZ or DMZ. So full form is demilitarized zone. So this word is came from the military. Third one is called as external or public or internet. Okay, or even we can call it as, so third another name is public or external or internet or untrust. We should not trust this one. So those are the three different types of zones. Okay, what is DMZ? I will explain later. It is one of the interview question also. So DMZ or DMZ. So DMZ you can see now here, demilitarized zone. It will act as a boundary between trust zone and also untrust zone. Okay, so this word is came from the military. Like example, you can consider our boundary between Pakistan and also India, or Bangladesh and in India, or Nepal and India, so and so on. So water boundary we are keeping, so those places military team they will sit and 24/7 into 365 days they will protect us. So that's why this particular word came from the military. So this DMZ or DMZ, it will act as a, so boundary in between trust and untrust zone. Okay, so that is the definition of the DMZ or DMZ zone. It will act as a boundary in between trust zone and also untrust zone. So this word came from the military. Okay, that is our DMZ or DMZ. Now go back to our diagram now. So first one is server LAN. So as I mentioned, so if you want to do the scanning of all these servers and identifying the vulnerabilities, we can call vulnerability assessment. And managing of those vulnerabilities and fixing of those vulnerabilities, entire life cycle management of the vulnerability process, we can call it as vulnerability management process. So for that one, we have to, as a security analyst or vulnerability analyst, first we will identify the servers list by contacting the asset owner or server owner or business owner. And the monthly ones, we will do the running of the server scan by taking the approval from the server owner. So then finally, we will do the scanning of servers in the development environment or testing environment. After that, automatically we will use couple of tools like NSS or Qualys or Rapid7. Those tools will give the our results automatic way. So once those results or reports, it will come to us. We have to do the manual vulnerability analysis part. Then finally, we have to share those vulnerability report to our patch management team. Who is the patch management team here? So respect to server support team. So asset support team or business support team. So they will do the patch updates. So once they will complete the patch updates, then we have to come back and we have to see whether really those vulnerabilities fixed or not. So that is the vulnerability management entire process steps. Okay. So anyway, that we are going to discuss under the vulnerability management side. Now let's go and discuss about infrastructure security. So that is our first domain. Once we are going to complete about our network and cyber attacks, I'm going to discuss about this one only. Under this one, vulnerability management. So there are so many vacancies are there for the vulnerability management also in our market. Running this scanning, running this scan against servers, identifying the vulnerabilities is called as vulnerability assessment. So when you say vulnerability, like a loophole or problems or issues or bugs, So these service team configuration oriented or end of life or end of support related softwares they will use, or libraries they will use, or packages they will use. And we have to go and we should not, we should say to server owner, we have to fix that issue. So by raising the ticket, if you don't fix that one, what will happen? So attacker point of view, maybe he will try to do the compromising of the server. So that is the reason, or monthly once at least we have to do the server scanning in the development environment or testing environment. Once we are completing successfully in the development environment and testing environment, fixing the vulnerabilities, then we have to go to the production environment. So this is the way how the overall entire process it is involved. So that is our vulnerability assessment here. Now managing the vulnerabilities and fixing the vulnerabilities is called as vulnerability management, or multiple vulnerability assessment scans also we can call it as vulnerability management. That is out our first domain we are going to discuss later. So that is about server LAN, and we discussed about all these servers also. Next one, once we are moving from here, we can see access. AS means access switch, DS means distributed switch, and CS means core switch. So under I kept router also part of the L3 device. So these are all networking devices. Access switch, distributed switch, core switch. So these routers, even you can see here load balancer, LB. LB means load balancer. So these four devices we can call it as our networking devices. Who will take care of these networking devices? These networking devices configuration implementations, troubleshooting can be done by network engineering team or network administrators. Okay. So that is about access switch, core switch, and also distributed switch and router and load balancer. So network devices are as per the diagram, and we'll discuss a couple of practical scenarios once I'm going to complete the entire overall network architecture diagram. Access switch, distributed switch, core switch, router, load balancer. So these five devices can be configured, implemented, and also managed and maintained by our network administrator, network engineers. Configuration, but vulnerability management can be done by our team only, part of the vulnerability assessment or vulnerability analyst team. Configuration, implementation, troubleshooting, managing and maintaining. Managing and maintaining meaning here upgrading of the routers, upgrading of the switches, or whenever any maintenance it will occur. So taking care of those maintenance also. Managing and maintaining will be taken care by network engineers or network administrators. So that is about network devices. And we do have the one more team will fall under the networking side. So that is called NOC. What is SOC? Security Operations Center. Whenever any security instance are triggered into 24/7 into 365 days, nothing but each and every second, our cybersecurity analyst team, they can go and they can take care of the instant response, instant investigation, forensic analysis. That is a part of the our cybersecurity SOC. Then what is NOC? Network Operations Center. So this Network Operations Center, they will take care of the network monitoring, application monitoring, and server monitoring. Okay. NOC team functionality is monitoring and fixing of the networking or network, otherwise network or application or server related issues. So that is the NOC team. So 24/7, they will also work on the 24/7 cross 365 days. So they will monitor 24/7 into 365 days, each and every second in the networking level or application level or server level. Is there any issues will occur, like a network outage or application outage or server outage? In case network outage, like a router or switch or load balancer or maybe core switch or distributed switch is going down, in that scenario, networking team will take care. If there is any application related issues, they will inform to application support team. Then application support team will pitch into the or part of the application related issues, and they will fix it. In case is there any server related issues are existing, then server team will fix it. So these three is like a coordinate and also collaborate like hand in hand, part of the NOC. Okay, so that is about NOC. For this one also, couple of tools are available for NOC monitoring also. NOC monitoring tools are, so anyway, we are not going to discuss, but just for understanding purpose, I'm explaining about all these. SolarWinds. So SolarWinds is one of the tool. It's not part of our scope, but anyways, you should be aware of what is meant by networking as well. So SolarWinds is got compromised in 2022, I think so. Part of the supply chain attack. All the supply chain and logistics based companies are got compromised. So the SolarWind itself, it's like a monitoring tool. Whoever is using the SolarWinds, so those companies got compromised. There are so much of the business loss. Okay. In the similar way, second one is called Netscope. So this one also is one of the tool. Next one is Riverbird. So next one is Fluke Networks. Next one is WhatsApp Gold. Not our WhatsApp. Ours is WhatsApp. So it's a WhatsApp Gold. So next one is PRTL. It is one of the monitoring tool as well. So these are the couple of monitoring tool. Even Datadog also. Especially in the cloud environment, we can use Datadog. So these are the NOC related tools. Okay, they will go and they will take care of these tools. They will implement. And finally, 24/7, they will work on these networking related issues, application related issues, and server related issues. So that is about NOC. Let's go back to our diagram now. So once we are moving to next one, we do have NADS, NAPS, proxy. And load balancer already we discussed. It will do the balancing of the load. And next one is firewall. NADS, NAPS, proxy, and firewall. So these three devices, we can call it as network security domains or network security solutions. Firewall, proxy, network IDS, network IPS. Okay. So these three solutions will fall under the or perimeter security or network security. Network security or perimeter security solutions. What all those solutions are? So we do have the next generation firewall. Next one is proxy. Second one. So this is also called secure web gateway. So third one we can call network IDS and network IPS. In the perimeter level, is there any attacks are happening? First and foremost, firewall, it will come as an entry point. In case firewall is bypassing, then it will come to proxy. If it is proxy is bypassing, then it will go to network IDS, network IPS. If network IDS, network IPS also bypassing, then it will come to EDR, DLP, other tools will take care. So it's like a layer approach, like onion. So this layer approach, we can call it as a defense in depth layer approach. If the one solution is bypassing, second solution will come into picture. If the second solution is also bypassing the attacks, then third solution will come into picture. If the third solution also bypassing, then fourth layer will come as a picture. Then find this layer approach, we can call it as defense in depth layer approach. Okay. What is defense in depth layer approach? Entire question. Defense in depth. If one layer, example, next generation firewall, is bypassing the incidents or attacks, second layer will prevent or block. In case second layer also bypassing, what is second layer? Proxy is bypassing. Then third layer, what is the third layer? Network IDS, network IPS. Example, extra, and so on. Otherwise, and so on. This layering approach is called as defense in depth layer approach. That is called defense in depth. Okay. So next one. So we discussed about network security solutions also, or perimeter security solutions, network IDS, network IPS, proxy, and firewall. So coming back, you can see in between access switch and distributed switch, I have drawn one of the line down. So, and I given endpoint systems. Those endpoint systems are end user LAN. So our endpoints, like each and every internal stakeholder, like a HR team or legal team, application development team, product development team, networking team, Windows team, Linux team, even cybersecurity SOC team, middleware team, everyone, all the employees basically will fall under the our end user LAN side, end user LAN segmentation, or otherwise end user local area network segmentation. This is server local area network segmentation, and this one is end user area, otherwise end user local area network segmentation part. Example, I given three devices like a HR team. Second one is you can consider this one is DevOps team. Third one you can consider SOC team. Not only this one, other stakeholders also, every organization it will maintain the other employees also, like all the members of the so organization side. If it is a bank, then you can think about probationary officers, then you can think about cashiers, then you can think about the clerks, then you can think about branch manager. If it is a hospital, then you can think about the doctors or surgeons, then you can think about receptionists and so on. Those people we can call it endpoints or end user LAN, end user local area network segmentation. So they will use either laptop or MacBook or workstation or desktop. Okay. Endpoints are host machines. Endpoint is also, we can call it a host. I told you even in the couple of other classes also. What are the different endpoints every organization or employee can use? Employee using an asset is called as endpoint. What are the different types of endpoints we do have? Example endpoints are laptop, MacBook, workstation, desktop, mobile. Couple of companies, even company will provide the mobiles to the our employees also. Even mobile also I'm keeping under the our endpoint only. Couple of times servers also we can refer as endpoints, but these are all the main endpoints are. Now whatever security controls we are implementing to these endpoints, we can call it endpoint security. Okay. Now endpoint security solutions are, what is the endpoint security solutions we can implement for all these endpoints? Antivirus or EDR or XDR. So these are the couple of solutions we can implement under the endpoint side. It's related to preventing the malware category of the attacks. It's a malware prevention. Already we discussed about all these definitions previously. Full forms also. Next one, DLP. This is one endpoint DLP. So under the end user side, if the data is leaking, that is called endpoint DLP. Data loss or data leak prevention. HADS, HAPS. Host intrusion detection system, host intrusion prevention system. And if you want, you can keep here network DLP also. That is also one of the solution we can implement. Networking side. NDLP, network DLP. So HADS, HAPS. Then file integrity monitoring. We have to implement whatever files are accessing by these end users. How many files they are accessing, how many files they are downloading. So are they doing any modification, updation, deletion, and also even changing of those content of the files, everything can be done by our file integrity monitoring. Why we have to monitor the file integrity monitoring? All malware category of the attacks will come through the files. It contains hash value. So that is the reason we have to even monitor the files also. Whether they are any person is adding or deleting or installing the files or maybe modifying the files, that entire process we can call it as file integrity monitoring. Next one is data at a rest level of the encryption. Data rest encryption or otherwise encryption. Example, maybe you're traveling X to Y location and you are going via or maybe you are going by bike or maybe you are going by bus or maybe you are going by metro train. Unfortunately, you forgot your laptop. Somebody caught your laptop. So then they dismantled your entire laptop because they don't know about the username and password. And whatever they are dismantling the laptop, they took the hard disk and they inserted into their personal laptop. Now, whatever hard disk information, everything it is storing, they can see the data if you don't do the encryption part. Physical damage or physical theft scenarios, this encryption really helpful for us. Okay. So that is about data rest level of the encryption. So these endpoints we will carry and we will move here and there. But those endpoints wanted, it will not move, right? It's like a static position. So that is called data at a rest level of the encryption. So these are all endpoint security solutions. Even mobile device management also, MDM, mobile device management. So company provided mobile, we have to monitor and what type of information they are accessing in the company provided mobile. Are they applying any jobs? They will monitor. Are they are using misusing purpose? Company provided mobiles. So those things can be done under the mobile device management. Couple of solutions also we do have for the mobile device management. So these solutions will fall under the endpoint security solutions. Okay. Now go back to our network architecture diagram. Now you can see email gateway. Email gateway. So email gateway we have to put in the perimeter side. So this place we can call perimeter also in the DMZ or DMZ. Whenever any phishing email is sending by an attacker, first it will come to our email gateway. So email gateway we have to keep under the DMZ or DMZ zone. Okay. So email security solutions are email security solution or email gateway. Where we have to keep under the DMZ or DMZ zone. We have to deploy under the DMZ or DMZ zone. Okay. And firewall already we discussed. And already I told you when we discussed about SMTP server, I explained about what are the different types of email gateway or email security solutions. Example, Proofpoint or Office 365 Defender or Ironport or Mimecast. So these things will fall under the our email gateway or email security solutions. Give me 1 second. My laptop is going to die. Sorry, guys. Apologies. Yeah, that is about email gateway or email security solutions. Let's go back to our diagram now. See here, firewall I map to web application firewall, also WAF. So in parallel to our next generation firewall, so we have to keep our WAF also. It will prevent and block all WASP top 10 category of the attacks, otherwise layer 7 category of the attacks as per OSA layers. So that is called WAF. But in cloud environment, WAF will keep under here. So that is the only difference. Application security side, what is the solutions we have to implement here now? We have to implement web application firewall, WAF. So even we have to take care of the SDLC lifecycle also. So each and every phase of the our software development lifecycle, we have to go and we have to implement the security solutions that we are going to discuss under the application security side. What is SDLC lifecycle and what is SSDLC lifecycle, secure software development lifecycle. Okay, I'm not discussing that one, but anyway, SSDLC will fall under the WAF. Cryptography will fall under the WAF. Sorry, so application security. Yeah, so these are the couple of things will fall under the web application firewall side, even WASP top 10. Yesterday, entire question. What is mean by WASP top 10? It is an institution or organization and it will provide top 10 category of the attacks. As per 2021 survey, what are the couple of category of the attacks like a broken access control and so cryptographic failures, insecure design, SQL injection attack, cross-site scripting attack, those will fall under the WASP top 10. Okay, so those solutions will fall under the web application, application security side. Now, go back to our architecture diagram. In parallel to our ISP router, we will deploy, we will deploy anti-DOS and anti-DDoS solution. What do you mean in parallel here? So whatever traffic is going on our ISP router, but first of all, what is ISP router? ISP router meaning here, internet service provider router. Whatever internet we are deploying, whether it is Geo or VSNL or BSNL or whether it is Idea or whatever. So Spectrum or AT&T or Verizon or T-Mobile, all those will fall under the internet service provider routers. So now in parallel to this ISP router, what we will deploy? We will deploy anti-DOS, anti-DDoS. Anti-DOS is an attack. Anti-DOS is a solution. DDoS is an attack. And anti-DDoS is solution. Yesterday entire question. What is DDoS attack? So now in parallel to ISP router, we have to deploy anti-DOS and anti-DOS DDoS tool. Now water traffic is going on the ISP router, same traffic it will go to our anti-DOS and anti-DDoS solutions. Couple of tools we do have, monitoring tools. Now based on the signature, based on the machine learning or artificial intelligence. So whenever any flooding category of the attacks are done by our attacker, either it will block or maybe either it will do the quarantining of those attacks. So that is the anti-DOS and anti-DDoS solution can be taken care. And finally, our internet. So this is the place we are getting from the internet and everything is like a public network. Okay. So that is about overall network architecture diagram. And VPN. So VPN, it will not fall under here basically. It will fall on firewall itself. Firewall itself, we can configure as a VPN also. Firewall itself. Firewall, it will act as a VPN also. Otherwise, if you want to use dedicated VPN, yes, we can use dedicated VPN also. Okay. So that is about overall. Okay. So network architecture diagram, but we can see couple of practical scenarios now. So I explain about overall what all the different devices will fall under. So now what I will do, I will explain about, okay, so a couple of practical scenarios in this network architecture diagram based on the network architecture diagram. Okay. So we completed our information security. We completed network security. We completed endpoint security. 3. Next one, we completed application security. And here it will fall under the product also. Here it will fall under the OT, operational technology, IoT, Internet of Things, IIoT, Industrial Internet of Things. So these things also will fall under the same, okay, so SSDLC life cycle. So now information security. In the information security, I can't explain via through diagram because those are all policies, rules, regulations, protocol, procedures like governance, risk and compliances, business impact analysis, risk assessment. So I can't show that one through network architecture diagram wise because these are all documentation most of the cases, right? So next one, what else? Cyber security. Cyber security meaning here monitoring all these devices 24/7 into 365 days whenever any security incident is triggered in the SIM tool. So then we have to take care of the instant investigation or response or forensic analysis. That overall, okay, monitoring and also log collection, log analysis, log processing, and the instant investigation. Okay, so we'll use one of the tool. That monitoring tool we can call it SIM. So that using that SIM tool, whenever these alerts are triggered, we'll take care of the appropriate response or instant response based on the incident lifecycle management process. That is called cyber security. Okay. So nothing but entire organization we have to monitor. That may be cloud environment, that may be on-premise environment also. Monitoring servers, monitoring databases, monitoring the, okay, so routers, switches, load balancer, monitoring the firewall, proxy, network IDs, network APIs, monitoring all the endpoints, end user machines. So then monitoring of the our ISP router, monitoring of the entire organization, monitoring of the cloud applications, everything, each and every second. So using one of the tool, that tool is called SIM tool, 24/7 into 365 days. That is called cyber security. Okay. So cyber security using SIM tool. I will explain in-depth analysis once we are moving to the cyber security side. And what is the team name? SOC team. Then what is pending one? Pending one is cloud security. Cloud security, whatever we are deploying in the our on-premise or data center, same as it is. These architecture diagram or these solutions also we have deployed same way in the cloud environment also. So same these switches and routers through virtual way on these firewalls, proxies, servers, but terminology it will change. Terminology it will change. Here we will say server. There we can say virtual machine, or there we can say EC2 instances. Okay, firewall, network access control lists and security groups. It will vary from once again Amazon Web Services wise it is different. Azure side it is different, and GCP side it is different. Oracle Cloud Infrastructure it is different. Same thing we can go and we can deploy in the cloud environment, that is called cloud security. For that one, we have to implement couple of security solutions. Native services or otherwise bring your own license, BYOL. So that is about cloud security. What are the providers? AWS, Azure, GCP, OCI, Oracle Cloud Infrastructure, Alibaba, or Alibaba, whatever you'll call, then IBM, HP, and so on. Okay. So that is about overall. We covered almost all the secure domains except cryptocurrency, blockchain. Okay, post-quantum computing. Post-quantum computing will be part of the ISP routers. Telecom oriented. So that is about overalls. Okay, so security domains perspective. Now let's discuss about couple of practical example, how this network architecture diagram and how we can go on to think about practical oriented in our day-to-day life. For example, so here HR guy wants to release offer letter to so-and-so candidate already he selected in all the rounds. Now, so where the person is sitting now? Person is sitting here now. So this one considered as an candidate. So for example, he select for SOC operation, cyber security SOC analyst, security analyst. He did not join yet, but he selected for the cyber security SOC operation. So now HR team, so they want to release the offer letter to this guy. Already they made everything. So they went and they created the offer letter and all the formalities are completed. Now HR person, he or she is drafting an offer letter through email to this candidate. Now how that process flow it will go? First it will go to access switch. First it will, whenever any traffic it is going to the our endpoint side or employee side, always it will hit the access switch. So it will go to access switch. Then we are discussing about email now. So email will be taken care of with server now, SMTP server. So then it will come to HR. Then offer letter, she or he is releasing the offer letter through email, and it will go to access switch. Then access switch it will go to SMTP server. SMTP server it will validate. So what type of the domain name okay candidate is using, whether it is Outlook or Hotmail or Yahoo Mail or Gmail. It will validate whether legitimate or illegitimate. Then it will come back. It will go to distributed switch. Then it will go to core switch or router. Then it will go to NADS, NAPS. Then proxy and load balancer, firewall, ISP router, internet, and finally it will receive to the candidate offer letter. Now candidate has to acknowledge and he has to do the signing of that particular non-disclosure agreements and offer letter signing, and he responded back. I received the offer letter. Thank you so much. And I have done the okay signed copy of the offer letter. Please find it. And he is acknowledging that one. Now how the traffic flow will go now? So now whatever traffic is going from inbound to outbound, where the candidate is sitting now, candidate is sitting in the external, is not okay onboarded yet. So that is called internet zone or public zone, external zone or untrust zone. Okay. So now water traffic is going from internal or trust zone to untrust or internet or external or public is called as outgoing traffic. It is going out of the office. So this may be example you can consider TCS. So this candidate is select for TCS now. So now, so whatever email is sending by HR team of the TCS now, he or she is sending from the okay TCS location, example Hyderabad Synergy Park. So from that location is going outside of the candidate. Maybe he's sitting somewhere else. The traffic is going away from trust zone or internal zone to untrust or public or external, okay, or internet is called as outgoing traffic. So what is first one now? Outbound traffic. This one already we have seen or discussed. Or outgoing traffic. The traffic is going away from trust or internal zone to untrust or public or internet is called as outbound traffic or otherwise outgoing traffic. Now, once he received the offer letter and he has to do this sign, candidate has to do this sign. He completed this sign copy, and also he completed non-disclosure agreement related to company properties and everything once he joined, and he completed other formalities and everything documentation part. Then he responded back to the HR now. How that okay email it will come now. So this person will come to internet, from internet will come to ISP router it will go to firewall, Firewall will go to load balancer, then proxy, NADS, NAPS, core switch, distributed switch, access switch, SMTP server. Then it will come back to HR team. So the traffic is coming from where it is coming from. It is coming from untrust or public to trust or internal is called as incoming traffic or inbound traffic. Inbound traffic or incoming traffic. The traffic is coming from untrust zone to trust zone is called as inbound traffic. Don't use incoming. It's better you can use inbound. If that is technical terminology, we have to use it. Now combination of these two meaning sum of the inbound plus outbound. We can call it as net flow data. Okay. Net flow data. So combination of both inbound traffic and outbound traffic is called as net. Net is not the sum of both. What is sum of the both here? Inbound is 1 and outbound is 1. So the sum of these two, we can call it as net flow data or net flow traffic also. In case if we are using Cisco routers and switches, we can call it a net flow data. In my organization, in TCS company now, they are using access switch, distributed switch, and core switch and router is a part of the our Cisco oriented. Cisco vendor oriented switches and routers they are using. Then that traffic we can call it as a net flow data. In case if they are purchased Juniper related switches and routers, we can call JFlow data. In case they purchased HP routers and HP switches, then we can call it as so S-flow data. So same thing, the combination of both inbound traffic plus outbound traffic. Net flow terminology provided by Cisco. In case if you are using Cisco routers and switches, the data or the net flow data, the entire traffic, we can call it as net flow data. So this one also we discussed previously. And in case if it is Juniper routers and switches, then we can call it a JFlow data. Then if it is HP routers and switches, we can call it S-flow data, sorry. S, otherwise we can also call it S, single S, flow data. Next one, if we are using Avaya routers and switches, Avaya. Then same thing, net flow data only. Then HP routers and switches already we discussed. IBM routers and switches. Then same net flow data only. Then Huawei from China, HAUWIE, I think spelling is wrong. Net flow data once again. So AT&T, T-Mobile, Verizon. So there are so many companies. So all those companies data also we can call net flow data only. People come from Europe-based company. Etisalat from Dubai. Navras from once again Dubai or Oman. So all those. So that is about overall net flow data. Then what else? Based on this diagram. So gateway, whenever we are referring the gateway, always please remember it will act as a bridge or gateway. So gateway means it's like a bridge. Okay, second example we can see now. What is second example we can see? So this is offer letter oriented and mail oriented we discussed. So I'll remove this one now. We can think about another one, like one of the person is applying the jobs. Same thing now. One of the candidate is applying jobs now. So now these jobs is applying for one of the vacancy name is called as SRE, Site Reliability Engineer. It's a part of the our okay. Once the feature is going to completing and delivering to successfully, resilience and reliability can be taken care by our SRE team. So Site Reliability Engineer. So he is applying one of the job vacancy. Otherwise, whatever known one we can provide. Data scientist or data engineer. So one of the person is applying for data scientist vacancy or data engineer vacancy. In that scenario, how the flow it will go now. So from this candidate, it will go to internet, and where he's applying in the example, take Accenture. He's applying the Accenture or Accenture, whatever you will call it as, where the Accenture or Accenture is deployed, or where the exactly application is deployed by Accenture company on top of the web server or app server. So here now our trust shown www.accenture.com/careers. So this is the place he is applying now. So this is the place where the our application is hosted on top of the web server or app server. Now in that scenario, how the flow data it will come from the candidate to our accenture.com. So candidate is sitting here outside. He's not joined yet, and he is looking job in the Accenture now. And the traffic will go from okay candidate to internet, internet to ISP router. Then all this security validation it will complete by the by. Okay, so ISP router, then ISP router to firewall, and firewall to load balancer to proxy, proxy to our network IDS and network IPS, then core switch, distributed switch, and access switch. Then it will go to web server. So it will go DNS resolution also. Accenture.com is a domain. It will go DNS resolution. It will happen. It will go to okay where the application is hosted on top of the web server or app server. Then finally he can go and he can apply okay under the so www.accenture.com/careers related to data scientist. So this is one of the practical example. So this is the way always you have to remember and you have to think about this particular diagram in your brain whenever you are discussing any topic in the entire, not only us basically, this diagram you have to explain to each and every candidate in the entire organ. That's better. Okay. So they will come to know, okay, so how the architecture diagram looks like. For this one, we can go and we can follow a couple of frameworks also, like a TOGAF, SABSA. So these are the couple of frameworks also we can follow. TOGAF and also SABSA. That is part of the GRC side. So now, whenever especially from security point of view, please remember this overall diagram in your brain. Okay. So where we have to deploy what type of devices, because couple of times even they will ask, where can we deploy firewall? Where can we deploy in the firewall? In between ISP router and load balancer under the our DMZ or DMZ zone. Where can we deploy proxy? Proxy can be deployed in between load balancer and also network IDS and network IPS. Where can we deploy network IPS? In between proxy and also core switch. So this is the way how the questions they will ask. Where can we deploy email gateway? We can deploy under the our DMZ or DMZ zone in parallel to firewall. Where can we deploy web application firewall? We can deploy in parallel to next generation firewall under the DMZ or DMZ zone. Where can we deploy anti-DOS and anti-DDoS solution? We can deploy in parallel to ISP router. Okay. Coming back, attacker, if they is trying to do hacking part, example, he want to compromise Active Directory, and he was making like a golden ticket attack, silver ticket attack. So that if you are compromising the Active Directory, those attacks we can call it as a golden ticket attack and silver ticket attack. So now, so where attacker is sitting. So this is another example. I'm removing this one now. I'll remove this one also. So attack is setting external world is a public. Now attack is trying to do the hacking of the Active Directory domain controller in our trust zone. Selection of the target. What is selection of the target here? Recon. Recon is also called selection of the target. Recon means reconnaissance. Selection of the target. What is selection of the target attacker has chosen now? In our scenario, he has chosen Active Directory. So this is the Active Directory. He wants to compromise the Active Directory using the golden ticket attack or maybe through silver ticket attack. So selection of the target is Recon, or otherwise Recon is Active Directory. Now he's sitting in the external republic and he's trying to use phishing email, or maybe he's trying to use port scanning mechanism. He's trying to use, there are so many tactics and techniques and procedures he will follow. Then it will come to internet the traffic, then it will go to ISP router, then ISP router it will go and it will validate in parallel to, is there any flooding of the traffic is sending by an attacker? It will validate that one. In case is sending, it will block the traffic by these anti-DOS and anti-DDoS tool. And then the traffic will go to firewall. Firewall, it will validate. So from which IP attacker is sending the traffic. So every attacker also has IP address, MAC address. So example 1.1.1.1 is a public IP. Now it's okay, firewall it will validate 1.1.1.1 is legitimate or illegitimate, whether it's abnormal or maybe normal, malicious or non-malicious. Then firewall will validate that one also, and whatever request he is sending, that one also he will validate. Then it will go load balance, it will do balancing of the load. Then it will go to proxy once again. So proxy it will validate where the traffic is coming and what type of activity, okay, attacker wants to do that. So in case it is matching to proxy functionality, then proxy it will block it. In case it is matching to firewall, firewall it will block it. Then network IDs, network IPS. So in case it is matching the functionality of network IDs, network IPS, it will block it. Then it will go to router and distributed switch and access. These are not secure devices. It will not block anything. So then the traffic will go to our Active Directory. Now finally, he will compromise Active Directory here. Okay. Compromising the Active Directory is called the golden ticket attack, and the silver ticket attack I'll explain later. So this is the way how the our attacker will try to compromise. There are so many solutions are there, even EDR, SIM tool, and DLP tools. All those things can be taken care part of the whenever attack is trying to the hacking side. So this is one of the example. In the similar way, now we can think about second attack, phishing email. Attacker is sending phishing email to the web's guy. He wants to compromise the web's person laptop. So attacker wants to compromise the web's person laptop. So using laptop. And how is it chosen? He has chosen the phishing email. So now he sent one of the email to DevOps guy. Example, his name is suresh.x@tcs.com. His email ID. Somewhere he got his, okay, so email address. That is the selection of the target is here, DevOps person. Now the traffic, how it will come? It will come to internet to ISP router. Then it will validate what is the domain name attacker is using, from where he is sending. He is sending from Gmail or Yahoo Mail, or flooding of the request he is sending. It will validate that one. Then it will go to firewall. Firewall also to validate domain name. In that email, it contains any URL link or malware attachment, or what is the domain name and what is the IP address, or what is the body of the content of the email it contains. It can be validated firewall also. then that email, it will go to email gateway also. Email gateway, here you can see email gateway. So then it will validate all those parameters. So what is the email is about? What is body of the content of the email? So what is the domain name? What is the IP address? What is the sender policy framework? What is DMARC? What is DKIM? What is header analysis? What is domain name? What is IP address? It will validate even email gateway also. If everything is fine, but he bypassed email gateway also. Then we'll go to proxy, and proxy will validate in case URL link it contains, and NADS and APS. Then we'll go to core switch, distributor switch, and access switch. In case is attached one of the attachment, that will go to EDR tool also, and it will prevent and block all malware category of the attacks. But he bypassed everything, and finally he sent it to email to our DevOps guy. Now DevOps guy is clicked on the whatever email is sent, like URL link or maybe attachment. Now at that time, all the solutions are sleeping. Antivirus EDR is sleeping, DLP is sleeping, encryption is sleeping, IDS IP is sleeping. Finally, what will happen? So DevOps person system will get compromised. Once his system is getting compromised, the notification will come to our SIEM tool. Then as a L1 or L2 or L3 analyst, we'll take care of the respective instant investigation forensic analysis. So this is the way how the overall process it will work. Okay, so that's all about overall network architecture diagram, guys. Please remember this architecture diagram in your brain or in your mind, and we should remember everything and wherever and whenever. So these things they're expecting, and as I mentioned, couple of questions will fall under from this one also. Example, defense in depth layer approach. What do you mean defense in depth? What is a net flow data? So where can we deploy firewall? Where can we deploy proxy? Where can we deploy NADS and APS? Where can we deploy EDR? Okay, so this is simple diagram, but it contains so much of information. It contains all the security domains information. Okay, so tomorrow I will start. So far, whatever we completed from May 27th, I think I started the classes. I'm not sure. May 25th or 27th, I given the demo. Till date, it took approximate, I think, 25 days to complete about overall networking concepts. So these concepts are common to each and every security domain. So from tomorrow onwards, we'll start our main security. So tomorrow onwards, I will start main security. So tomorrow onwards, don't skip the classes. All those classes are very, very important. These classes are also important, but as I mentioned, so whenever someone you are not giving the proper answer at the time of entering the security oriented question, directly they will come away to our, okay, so networking concepts also. Okay. So that's all for today, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Good night.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks.
Thank you, sir. Thanks, sir.